You've been told that vegetables are always good for you. But what if I told you some of them might be silently destroying your blood sugar? If you have diabetes, especially if you're over 50, there are 10 common vegetables that could be spiking your glucose and making things worse without you even realizing it. Hi, and welcome back to Everly Health, your trusted source for smarter diabetic living. Today's video might surprise you. We're diving into 10 vegetables you've probably eaten thinking they're healthy, but for diabetics, especially seniors, they can actually be harmful and lead to dangerous blood sugar spikes. So if you've been loading up on salads, stir fries, or soups, thinking you're doing your body a favor, think again. You might be making one of the most common diabetic mistakes without even knowing it. Let's reveal the list, vegetable by vegetable, so you can take control of your plate and your health, starting today. Number 1. Corn. The hidden sugar bomb in disguise. Corn might look harmless, and hey, it's technically a vegetable, right? But for diabetics, corn can be a major blood sugar trap. That's because corn is high in starch, a type of carbohydrate that your body quickly breaks down into glucose. This leads to a rapid spike in blood sugar, especially if you eat it in large amounts or without balancing it with protein or a fat. Even a small ear of corn contains about 25 to 30 grams of carbs, almost as much as a slice of white bread. And the glycemic index of corn can range from moderate to high depending on how it's prepared. Boiled corn has a GI around 60, but things get worse with popcorn, corn flakes, and creamed corn, all of which can send your blood sugar soaring. For diabetics over Phi, this becomes even more critical. As insulin sensitivity naturally declines with age, foods like corn can silently work against your progress. Many seniors with diabetes eat corn thinking it's a better carb than rice or bread, but your body sees it the same way, a quick shot of glucose. Does this mean you can never eat corn again? Not necessarily, but portion size and preparation matter. Stick to a small portion, pair it with protein like grilled chicken or tofu, and skip the butter-soaked versions. Or better yet, replace it with fiber-rich, lower-carb vegetables we'll cover later in this video. Number 2. Potatoes. The diabetic danger masquerading as a staple. Potatoes are comfort food for millions, but for diabetics, they're often a blood sugar nightmare. Whether it's mashed, fried, or baked, potatoes are packed with simple starches that convert rapidly into glucose. In fact, just one medium baked potato can have over 35 grams of carbohydrates and a glycemic index of 85 to 90. That's sky high. What makes potatoes even trickier is that they feel filling. So many diabetics assume they're a good, hearty food. But in reality, they cause quick and sharp blood sugar spikes, especially when consumed alone or in large amounts. French fries and hash browns? Even worse, because frying them adds unhealthy fats on top of the carb overload. For people over 50 whose bodies already struggle with insulin resistance, potatoes can quietly sabotage your efforts to stay balanced. You may not notice the impact right away, but that post-meal fatigue, foggy brain, or sugar crash, that's often your body responding to the potato spike. Does this mean you have to give up potatoes forever? Not necessarily, but it's time to make smart swaps. Try cauliflower mash instead of mashed potatoes, or baked sweet potato in small portions paired with a protein. Moderation and preparation are everything if you want to enjoy your meals without paying the blood sugar price. Number 3. Canned vegetables. The salty, sugary trap in your pantry. You might think canned vegetables are a convenient way to eat healthy, but for diabetics, they can be a hidden danger. Many canned veggies come loaded with added sugars, preservatives, and sky-high sodium levels. And worse, the nutritional quality is often stripped during processing. Take canned corn, peas, or carrots, for example. These often come in a syrupy brine or sugary solution, which means you're not just eating veggies, you're also getting extra carbs that can secretly raise your blood sugar. 1 cup of canned sweet corn can pack twice the glycemic impact of fresh corn. The real kicker? High sodium in these canned goods can lead to increased blood pressure, water retention, and even worsen insulin resistance. especially dangerous for seniors managing both diabetes and heart concerns. This double whammy makes canned vegetables a bigger risk than most people realize. If you rely on canned veggies for convenience, there's a better way. Choose no salt added or unsweetened versions and always rinse them thoroughly underwater before cooking or serving. But when possible, go for fresh or frozen vegetables. They retain more fiber, nutrients, and don't come with the nasty surprises hidden in many cans. Number 4. Garlic onion overload. When flavor turns into a blood sugar spike, yes, garlic and onions are flavorful, and in small amounts, they're even healthy. But when used in excess, especially in rich, high-carb dishes, they can contribute to unexpected blood sugar spikes in diabetics. Why? Because both garlic and onions contain natural sugars and sulfur compounds that can influence insulin sensitivity when not properly balanced. Onions, especially caramelized or sauteed in oil, can add more carbs and calories than you think. One large onion has about 14 grams of carbs, and most people use far more than a single serving in cooking. When combined with oil or other high-carb ingredients, like in gravies, sauces, or stir-fries, they turn into a blood sugar-raising combo that many diabetics don't notice. Garlic, while praised for its medicinal properties, also contains fructans, a type of carbohydrate that may ferment in the gut and contribute to insulin resistance in sensitive individuals, especially when consumed in large doses or supplements. It's not about avoiding garlic or onions altogether, but rather keeping portions controlled. For diabetics over 50, digestive efficiency and glucose response can become more fragile. So, flavor your meals wisely. Use garlic and onions as seasoning, not as the main ingredient, and avoid deep frying or combining them with heavy starches. Balance is key. Number 5. Eggplant, the oil-soaking carb chameleon. Eggplant or aubergine is often seen as a diabetes-friendly vegetable because it's low in calories and carbs on its own. But here's the catch. Eggplant acts like a sponge. It soaks up oil and sauces like a towel in water. That's where the danger lies for diabetics. Once it's fried, grilled with oil, or drenched in sweet sauces, eggplant transforms into a blood sugar spiking trap. Let's break it down. 1 cup of plain cooked eggplant has only about 5 grams of carbs. Sounds safe, right? But when sliced thin and fried, like in eggplant parmesan or stir-fried dishes, it can absorb up to 3 tablespoons of oil per serving. That's a massive dose of fat and calories which can slow digestion in unhealthy ways and trigger insulin resistance over time. Even worse, eggplant is often paired with refined carbs like breadcrumbs, white rice, or sugary soy sauces in Asian dishes. This combination of fat, refined carbs, and hidden sugars can worsen blood glucose control, especially in seniors with type 2 diabetes who already face metabolic slowdowns. If you love eggplant, you don't have to give it up. Just change the way you cook it. Instead of frying, try roasting or steaming it with herbs and a dash of olive oil. Avoid the breadcrumbs and sauces and pair it with lean protein and non-starchy veggies for a safer, more balanced diabetic meal. Number 6. Peas, the sweet little carb bomb. Peas may look innocent, but for diabetics, these tiny green spheres can be surprisingly risky. Unlike leafy greens, peas are starchy vegetables, meaning they contain a higher amount of carbohydrates and natural sugars that can quickly elevate blood sugar levels when eaten in large portions. 1 cup of cooked green peas contains about 21 grams of carbs and a glycemic index around 54-58, which is considered medium but risky if not paired with fiber or protein. Many diabetics assume that because peas are vegetables, they're always safe. But peas are actually closer to corn and potatoes in how they affect your blood sugar. What's more, canned or sweetened peas, often found in processed dishes or restaurant meals, can contain added sugars or syrups, which further increases their glycemic load. Even in homemade cooking, it's easy to toss in a cup or more without realizing how much glucose it might unleash. For diabetics over 50, this matters even more. As metabolism slows and insulin response weakens, those little peas can add up quickly. The smart move: use peas as a garnish or side, not a main ingredient, and always balance them with protein and fiber-rich vegetables to help blunt any spike. Number 7. Pickles, the salty saboteur in disguise. Pickles might seem like a harmless snack, especially since they're made from cucumbers, a low-carb vegetable. But many diabetics overlook what really matters here: the brine. Most commercial pickles are soaked in high-sodium, high-sugar solutions, which can wreak havoc on your blood sugar and blood pressure alike. Sweet pickles in particular are loaded with added sugars, sometimes up to 8 grams per serving. Even dill pickles, while lower in sugar, can pack excess sodium that leads to water retention, higher blood pressure, and worsened insulin sensitivity, especially dangerous for older adults living with both diabetes and cardiovascular issues. Another hidden problem: many pickled vegetables use preservatives and artificial flavor enhancers, which may trigger inflammation or digestive discomfort, something people over 50 with diabetes often experience more acutely. And when pickles are served alongside carbs, like in burgers or sandwiches, they can quietly magnify post-meal spikes. Does this mean no pickles ever? Not necessarily, but if you love that tangy crunch, go for fermented pickles with live cultures, like traditional lacto-fermented pickles, and read the label carefully. Look for low or no sugar and sodium under 150 milliliters per serving. Better yet, make your own at home to have full control of ingredients. Number 8. Bell peppers in excess. The sweet trap many miss. Bell peppers, especially red and yellow ones, are colorful, crunchy, and packed with vitamin C. But for diabetics, consuming them in large amounts, especially when cooked, can lead to unexpected blood sugar spikes. Why? Because the riper the pepper, the higher the sugar content. Red bell peppers have nearly twice the sugar of green ones, around 6 grams per cup. While that doesn't sound like much, remember that many recipes use them in bulk or roast them, which concentrates the sugars even more. Combined with other carbs in a dish, this can add up fast for people with diabetes. If you're over 50, your body processes sugars more slowly, and even natural sugars from vegetables like peppers can cause issues when portion sizes aren't controlled. This is especially true when bell peppers are used in sweet sauces, stir-fries, or stuffed with high-carb fillings like rice or breadcrumbs. That said, bell peppers in moderation are not the enemy. Stick with green peppers, eat them raw or lightly steamed, and avoid over-roasting or mixing them into high-carb dishes. Balance is key. Number 9. Baked beans, the sweet and starchy double trouble. Beans are often praised for being high in fiber and protein, but not all beans are created equal. Baked beans in particular are a diabetic landmine. They're usually loaded with sugar, molasses, and syrups, turning what could be a healthy food into a blood sugar disaster. A single cup of canned baked beans can contain 30-40 grams of carbs, with 10 to 12 grams from added sugars alone. That's more than a donut. Even if you drain the sauce, the sugar has already soaked into the beans, and your body absorbs it fast, causing quick glucose spikes. For older adults managing diabetes, baked beans can also worsen digestive issues, leading to bloating, discomfort, and erratic glucose levels. It's a double whammy many don't realize, because the label still says beans, and people assume it's healthy. Instead, choose plain black beans or kidney beans and season them yourself without sugar. Or go with lentils, which are lower on the glycemic index and more diabetes friendly. Number 10. Carrots, when cooked. The overlooked sugar surge. Carrots are another vegetable people think are always safe. But here's the twist. Cooking carrots raises their glycemic index dramatically. While raw carrots have a GI around 16, cooked carrots can jump to around 49 to 60, depending on how long they're boiled or roasted. That means your body absorbs the sugar from cooked carrots much faster, especially when they're soft or pureed. For diabetics over 50, this can be a problem if carrots are used frequently in cooked dishes, stews, or soups, often in large portions and alongside potatoes, rice, or noodles. The natural sugars in carrots, especially beta-carotene, are healthy in small amounts, but when overcooked or eaten in bulk, they can still raise your glucose more than you expect. Solution? Eat carrots raw or lightly steamed and combine them with healthy fats like olive oil and lean protein. That way, you keep the crunch, the nutrition, and avoid the spike. Smart tip: it's not about avoiding veggies, but choosing wisely. Here's the truth: not all vegetables are your friend when you have diabetes, especially if you're over 50. But the solution isn't to fear food, it's to understand it. Many of the worst vegetables we've discussed become dangerous not because of the veggie itself, but how it's prepared, what it's paired with, and how much you eat. The smartest move: focus on low glycemic, fiber-rich veggies like broccoli, spinach, kale, and cauliflower. Steam, grill, or roast them with minimal oil and skip the sauces. Avoid overcooking vegetables that turn sugary when soft, like carrots or onions, and always read labels for canned or jarred products. Hidden sugars and sodium are real threats. Remember, with diabetes, it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. Eat with intention, balance every plate, and your food becomes your medicine, not your enemy. If you found yourself surprised by any of these vegetables, you're not alone. Most diabetics over 50 have been misled by labels like natural or healthy. But now you know better, so take control, eat smart, and don't forget to subscribe for more life-saving diabetic tips because your health is worth fighting for. Stay safe, stay strong. This is Everly Health.